All right, very good. All right, so again, my apologies, technical difficulties, so on and so forth, but I will be respectful of everybody's time, and I'm just going to go through a brief high level, but John Muller, I'll leave his email address up, and we have this complete report. Obviously, I couldn't probably get through it in 30 minutes, let alone 45 or whatever. So I'm going to go through this. Basically, what we've done is for the past 5 years, we've done a video and broadband study to show people what the rural marketplace is doing. And these are some of the findings that we've had over the last 12 months. Though there is a benchmark report, it's about a 40-page report. So make sure you send an email to johnm@innovsys.com. I'll have that up here in just a little bit so that you can see all of this data. The biggest thing to look at here on this particular slide, satellite 33% penetration, cable, telco, phone company are really one and the same. The respondents really didn't have a understanding of those two. So really that would be you folks that are on the call today. As you can see, streaming has jumped up significantly over the last few years and is definitely a part of where we're at. Part of the problem with video is the cost, and you know, people need to continue to raise their rates on a regular basis. Otherwise, you just can't keep up. And the problem that we've seen, our customers that are maintaining in video are doing so by raising their rates on a regular basis. And the customers in rural America seem to be a little bit more favorable just because they don't have a lot of other entertainment options outside their homes like urban people do. As you can see, our satisfaction with video has hit its lowest in years. Obviously, rates drive that, but one of the bigger concerns is poor customer service. That was the highest it's ever been since we've done this study. So I think that shows us that we need to reevaluate some of the practices that we're doing and try and help customers as best as we can. First time question that we asked this year, percentage of TV viewing. And as you can see, sports is a very important aspect in rural America. As you can look, 11 to 100%, way over 30% are watching a large portion of sports activities in their video products. As you can see, as you look at the streaming here, our streaming has definitely continued to go on the rise, 30% up to 52% in 2020. So that's definitely something that we need. One of the things that we want to look at is as more and more of these video streamers offer services, it is starting to cannibalize all of the other services. As you can see here, Netflix took a big drop, and partly because there's just so many options out there at this time. Finishing up the video part, we had a situation where we asked the first time question, if you were asked to switch by your provider to a full streaming service, not a traditional IPTV or a cable TV service, would you switch? And here's the respondents. They said basically 55%, no problem, I would make the switch. But the concerning thing is that 45%, just under half of your customers would switch to another provider if they had to change from IPTV or cable to a full-blown streaming service. So that's definitely something that we can see, and that's why we advocate a multi-generational approach. Give the customer either streaming or traditional, blend it together, give them the choice of what best fits their lifestyle. Quick look at channel stats. I'm not going to go into the methodology, but I will say this, 75,000 set-top boxes, nearly 100,000 individuals on this. And again, as I'm rolling through this, I want to remind you that John Muller will send you these full reports, and you'll see his email here in just a couple of minutes. But the ratings were totally different than they've ever been. Our summer ratings were at record highs, and that's mainly due to the fact that people just stayed home. They have not been on vacation like they have been in the past, and that did affect television viewing significantly. Why is this important? Obviously, content negotiations. We had one customer a while back, they dropped Bloomberg because nobody was watching it. So if you have the ability to see channel stats reports, you can then have the confidence to drop channels that you aren't contractually obligated to carry. Just a quick look at the top channels. As you can see, the networks are always doing very well. Fox News is up there really strong, not a surprise in rural America. But CNN has grown by triple since last fall. So we can see that there's a lot of interest in news and information. So that's definitely something to monitor. Another one that's really moving quite quickly up the charts is Paramount. They've been growing by 30% over the last 3 quarters. So you want to keep an eye on that one as well. As you can see, the bell curve is a lot lower, not as much of a difference in these top 50. And I'm not going to show the top 100 just because of time constraints. And this is the quarterly. As you can see here, if you look at the quarterlies, you can see that the summer, traditionally a slower viewing time, was greatly affected by the this pandemic and people staying home watching television. And I'm just going to go through this again. Full report will be available to all of you. Make sure that you send John an email for that. The data definitely tells a story, and you can send me an email, or you can send it to johnm@innovsys.com. I did want to finish up my presentation with the broadband. I do have a takeaway nugget here that's really important. As you can see, I think the pandemic had an impact with satisfaction. More people at home, more people using the internet. They weren't happy. And here's a good reason why. We see these numbers as they stay the same for the last couple of years, meaning people are stuck on the same speed. So consequently, being stuck on the same speeds does create a situation where if they got more people at home, they're doing more things, they're not going to be happy with their internet. And as you can see, the satisfaction has been lower now than it's been for quite some time. And here's the thing that's really of interest. Only 61% of rural America was satisfied with their Wi-Fi signal. Only 61%. Now, here's the thing that we want to take away from this. Only 13% of rural America subscribe to a managed Wi-Fi service. So there's some serious revenue opportunities there. But this next slide you're going to see is the most compelling. 25%, and that top box means that people are at a high level of interest and would be willing to make a decision within the next 12 months to purchase managed Wi-Fi from your company. And that's a very high number, 25%. And why is that? Well, there's so many devices in the homes now, and they're using inferior equipment to manage good internet service that many of you are bringing to the customer's home. So consequently, you need to educate those customers and say, hey, you know what? We're bringing you fiber. We're bringing you 250 by 250. But if you're running it through a $40 Walmart router, that's the problem. We can fix that for you, and we can manage the service for you, and you won't have these problems. And so that's really the takeaway from this presentation on the study for broadband. The final piece here, in rural America, 35% of the people have outbuildings on their property. Here again is another revenue takeaway for your companies. 33% stated that they would pay for you to have internet delivered to their outbuildings. And you got to remember, rural America, they may not have that skill set to do point-to-point mesh, those types of things. You have those skill sets. And as agriculture is getting more advanced and more connectivity, they need internet in those outbuildings. So really, when you look at that 33% having an interest in internet in their outbuildings, that's a big deal. That's one of the highest first-time questions that we've ever asked as far as the score. That's a third. So really another great opportunity for recurring revenue for your company. So again, please accept my apologies. We had some technical issues here that I didn't realize was going to happen. That was a very high level of the report, but we got it through. And contact John Muller if you have any questions. You want to talk to him over the phone. He's going to be monitoring the virtual booth. If you want to send a request for him or make a request for him at the virtual booth for the full reports, and there's 2 reports. There's the channel stats report. It's about 15 pages, and it has all, I didn't go through them in great detail, obviously, because of the challenge I had this morning. And then the broadband and video study, that's a 40-page report. Those reports are free, and we really don't care if you're one of our customers or not. It's just more of a proof that Innovative Systems is really committed to the rural marketplace. We have skin in your game, so we want you to use this kind of data from your marketplace to make informed strategic decisions. And thank you very much.